So today's news is about today's update is about the two the two political fight between the former River State governor, you understand? The two River State former governor, you understand? So as we digress, I will break everything down and in a simple and clear way for you all to really understand the basic way they go on now. And you guys, those governors are very familiar to you guys. So let's go on, let's digress. Actually, the fight is between Wike and Amaechi. You have been hearing me say Amaechi in my last video. You understand? This Amaechi now, they cause wahala now in this current 2025. You know, Rotumini, now he be Amaechi, Rotumini, Amaechi, and Wike. It's the fight between them now, right now. Today update, it is not be another talk. Let's digress. What really started this gbese? What really started this fight between Rotumini, Amaechi, and Wike? What really started the fight is majorly this 2026 Electoral Act. So that Electoral Act, you understand? What really cause the fight for that Electoral Act? We say one person they support, manual transmission, other person they support electronic transmission. What do they call them? Transmission. But this Electoral Act, this new 2026 Electoral Act. So Wike is supporting the manual side, the manual transmission, and what do they call them? What are they calling it? Amaechi is also supporting the electronic transmission. So because of this, you understand, because of Amaechi supporting the electoral transmission, Wike called him a hypocrite. How now? Person they won't make country go forward. You call them hypocrites. So let's digress for you all to see why Wike called Rotumini Amaechi a hypocrite for supporting the idea of electronic transmission. It's even funny. It's the happen between these two kinds of rats. Sure. But actually, at first, before Wike called him a hypocrite, see what really happened when Wike called him a hypocrite. So Amaechi came out, he stood out and said, you understand, for Wike fronted, they tell Wike, say Wike is trying to weaken the electronic transmission for Nigeria. Wike come vex, tell her, say, guy, you be hypocrite, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite. Now maybe we'll see why Wike call her hypocrite. Let's digress. Some of you might be confused on the full meaning or the actual use of that electronic transmission. So let me really make you all understand. I'm trying to make you all understand, but not to be lost, you understand. So let's first talk about this electronic transmission. So electronic transmission actually means after voting, you understand, the whole result and everything is being sent online. It's being transmitted online, not manually. So after votes are counted as polling units, results are sent electronically online to a central server, to the central unit, you understand, where the votes will be counted, where the results will be counted. So many Nigerians believe in this method. They really love this method. They believe that with this method, it will surely reduce election rigging, you understand, election mago way, and it will increase transparency. They believe that it will improve transparency, to increase transparency in election, and make it harder for manipulation. So that's what many Nigerians believe. So the new law of this 2026 Electoral Act says that electronic transmission is still allowed, still available, you understand? It's allowed. But if at the process of the Electoral Act, and if at the process they're having bad network or bad issue or any problem with the electoral transmission, you understand, they can move to the manual transmission. You understand? Which means anytime they are voting or anything, you understand, and they get problem or with their computer or with the electronic they are using to transport or teleport the results and everything. If everything they get problem, say they use manual, they feel like manually hand it over. No more internet something on network or something, you understand? So if the internet fails in the rural areas, you understand, all these villages, all these thick forests, all these places they talk to, they go vote, polling units, if they're having any kind of network problem, officials don't need to wait, and they can, transmit it manually. So we can say that this manual act, understand, this manual transmission is not, it doesn't mean that it's removing, the electoral transmission Nigerians need. You understand? That it's just a saver, it's just a backup, so that it won't keep the individuals or the voters stranded or make them franchised. We can say that this is not removing this manual transmission, does not mean it is removing the electoral transmission everyone is wanting. Even the electoral transmission, Amaechi, everyone they shout, we need electoral transmission. See, this manual is just, for safeguard, that it is just for backup. In case, so it's just for backup, so that the people won't be disenfranchised or stranded, when transmitting the results. So this one are just for, standby something, understand? So he's trying to tell us that is why it is necessary to have manual transmission. Also, I understand what they go on there. This is people, APC too. See, every key they get spare parts, second hand key. They go use open and all. So that's so this electoral act must get spare parts. So the spare parts, people they talk say, make that spare parts become manual transmission. This one a real thief, man. Let's digress. So because of that reason, Amaechi is really, really annoyed. And you all know that Amaechi has been in the among the protestants early 2026. He has been among the protesters coming out for the the election and everything. And he said APC are afraid because if they use the electoral transmission, and they know they will lose the election. So that's why they are looking for all means so that this manual transmission must start. According to Amaechi, he's trying to tell us that this manual transmission opens door for it opens door for election manipulation. That's just the raw fact of everything he's saying here. Now here is the main reason why Wike called Amaechi a hypocrite. So as of 2023, when Buhari was still on chair, when Buhari still there on his seat, Amaechi was on seat for the River State governorship. You understand? He was on seat for the River State governorship. Then Nigerians brought up the use of electoral transmission, but Wike rejected it. Amaechi rejected it because he was still on governor seat. So now this reason, when Amaechi was responding, saying, when he was protesting, you understand, among the people saying this electoral transmission must start. And why Wike come call him hypocrite? Wike said, how is it that during your own tenure, you understand, you wanted it to favor you because you know that if this electoral during your own tenure as of 2023 when you were still the River State governor, that you know that if that electoral transmission stood there, that it won't favor you. But because of it needed it to favor you, you didn't agree, you didn't concur to the Electoral Act as of when they brought it up during Buhari's time. You see that? So that when you can't call them hypocrites, saying a big hypocrite in me. What do you not thought on this basis now? On this, who is the hypocrite among these two people? Is Amaechi truly a hypocrite? Is he truly a hypocrite? That was our act. We get open in yash. Breeze go blow, fire yash go open. So now is the time. Amaechi don't finish ruling. You won't go. Now we got to talk about electoral. How true is this? Wike? What do you drop that thought first? That's what I really think, because these people are just fooling themselves.